but they're little brown things. Jujubes. That's what it is, jujubes. And I haven't gotten any fruit off of it, but I got them over here. Is a little bit of a banana. I have some tall bananas in the back of the property, but this just started. A gopher ate it, and I thought it was completely dead, but I left it here, and it's starting to come back. So I'm excited about that. There's a lot of room for more fruit trees. If you look here, I have a few. I just have a soaker hose, so I put a bunch of avocado seeds along here. And this one I grafted after I went to the January Orange County Scion Exchange, and I grafted Surprise. That and this one is grafted. Some of these avocados are not grafted. This one is a Fuerte on one side and a Stewart on the other. And I have a couple of reeds that started grafting. So this one is a white sapote, which you eat when they're very soft.
One?
What?
The one with the big leaves.
This one? Oh, this is a seedling loquat. And I have a real big loquat here. I have a couple of club members that came and picked some of my other, what is it called? Oh, persimmon. I've got a lovely Hachia persimmon tree, which I decided I really like to slice them like Christine Lampy does and dry them in slices. There's quite a few persimmons.
This is a persimmon.
And they turn this bright persimmon orange in the fall. Can you zoom it? Focus in on this. There we go. So that's a little Hachia persimmon. And you eat them when they're super soft, like an overripe tomato.
There's hundreds of them.
And then got a little cherry tree. I've got this is the mama loquat tree. I'm not sure the variety, but they taste delicious. The fruit's all gone right now. Now this right here is a feijoa tree, and I haven't been real fond of the feijoas themselves, but the petals are delicately sweet and delicious. Do you want to try one, Brandon?
Yes.
Right here. This looks like a pretty good one. They're just the best. You can keep the plant, then it'll still fruit. They're just very delicately sweet. So I think that's now I was gonna let Christine take over. Let's see. Brennan just handed me the camera. So I'm gonna show you just a couple more things. I have the city gives us trees each year. And last year I bought 3 macadamia trees. So right here is one of them. And once again, the trunk was not big enough. A liquid paper pen to label that. I also like to use the vinyl window blinds. They make wonderful, not as permanent, but you write on them with pencil, and they make wonderful tags for the garden. But my dog likes to pull those out and eat them. So, yeah, on the March electric bill, if any of you live in Riverside, you'll see a coupon for a free tree, and then you can take a coupon and get another free tree. And I just went to Louie's nursery, and I got, I'm not sure how excited I am about it, but it's a tropical white guava. I wanted a guava tree. Wanted one that was pink in the middle, and I just set it out here. I think it got sunburned. Might need to treat it the way I did the others. I have palms and Larry Dodson just gave me. This is not a fruit. This is called Pride of Madeira, and it gets big purple flowers, but not so much the plant. But what I want to show you is the palm leaves, which I saw driving down Van Buren. They put in the avocado trees and they put palm leaves around it, and that provides shade so that can prevent or protect the new plants from the fierce sun. So Kirk, if you want to take over from here, I made my 3 points. I wanted to make sure they saw air layering, that they saw composting, and how to pollinate the cherimoyas. And last of all, oh, you know what? Not last of all. Let me show you. This is my front yard. You see the house back there in the distance? It's like a park. There's a big fig tree that I think the birds probably planted years ago. So there's the street, Monroe Street, and it's a big U-shaped driveway. Oh, Lisa says figs are delicious and prolific. Thank you, Lisa. And the house is for sale. This is the address. So if anybody's interested, let me know.
Thank you so
All
much. Great tour, Charlotte. Do we have any questions? There's lots of great information in there. Anybody have any questions? Feel free to unmute yourself. And ask away.
There's even a koi pond in the front yard. So no questions?
I guess not.
Okay, or maybe they're having trouble unmuting. If you tap the bottom of your screen, you should see a camera and a microphone. If you tap the video, it'll turn off the video. Like I could do that to stop my video so you can't see me, but I'm gonna start the video because I want you to be able to see where I'm at. And there's a mute button. So if you click the mute, on my iPhone, it's on the bottom left corner, but you can unmute it and you can talk if Kirk unmutes you.
Yeah.
So if Christine's ready, she can go ahead.
Christine, you ready?
I'm ready. Can you hear me?
Sure can.
Okay. So I'm sharing my screen. And so, let's see.
Hold on 1 second. Yeah.
You seeing the video? I'll full screen it. And as you're watching, just so you know, my property is also going to be up for sale here. We're moving to 4.5 acres now out near Hemet in Homeland. So we're fixing this all up and we'll probably have it ready for sale in a couple of months later in the summer. So anyway, here we go. And then I'll take questions. Towards the end, there'll be a silent kind of walk around through. Oh, by the way, Lisa Germo was my videographer. She did a fantastic job. This is her first time really doing this. So she's done a great job. And then all the still photos in there are my photography.
Christine, I don't think you checked the use computer audio because we can't hear it. So when you go to share your screen, there's a checkbox in the bottom left corner so that we can hear the computer audio.
I need to unmute myself?
No, I try it. Play the video real quick.
Oh, I have my headphones plugged in. I wonder if that's it. They get soft and mushy. Is that better? So this kind you can eat when it's crunchy, like an apple.
I think there's a checkbox on when you go to click share your screen in the bottom left or in the bottom right corner. There's a checkbox to say allow computer audio. So you need to stop recording or stop sharing. and then reshare it. And then in the bottom, there's a checkbox. You got to hit that, and that way we can hear your computer audio.
All right, hold on. We're all new to this.
Yep. Live and learn. I learned the hard way last month. So.
Okay, I'm trying to get back to the, so I have to get back to my Zoom screen. I have too many screens open here. I don't. I am not. I have my little, oh. Okay, so I have
Just
where it says mute, it says select a microphone.
no. So it's on the, you're on the Zoom app. So the other page, when you check on share your screen, there's another window that pops up. It's on that. It's
I
like
can't find that screen again.
if you want to make me the host, might be able to do this.
I've got my little screen in the middle that shows the participants, but I lost the big one.
So I made you the host, so I can't. You're in control right now. So if you want to
Okay.
go, if you want to click on my name and make host.
Kirk Swanner, yeah, I see. Make host, okay. There, you are host.
All right. Just go ahead and close out your screen that you clicked on share your screen.
Like I said, I think I lost it.
Okay. 1 second. Sorry guys. Sorry for the technical difficulties.
I have the
Okay. So
maximize it. Okay.
yeah. All right. So I'm gonna make you the host again, and this time when you go to share your screen, in the bottom there's a checkbox you got to hit. It'll say allow computer audio. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So you're now the host, Christine.
Okay. Share computer sound.
There you go.
I see that. All right. And now go back to the video page. I have to find it again. The grandkids love them. Let me back up a smidgen.
So come with us.
Hi, I'm Christine Lampy, and this is my husband, Michael.
Hi, welcome
hearing
to
it?
our garden. And we'll take you on a tour, so come with us.
We're hearing it, but I think you need to change the
This is,
screen
persimmon
because right now
trees,
we're
including
seeing the
persimmon,
Zoom.
the kind that you can eat when they're crispy, so you don't have to wait till they're soft and mushy. Because if you the other
you're
kind,
sure-
you eat them before they get.
Pause this. All right. And what do I need to get rid of the?
So when you go in to share the screen, you shared. You're just on a different. You're on a different web page, like a different tab on your web browser.
Oh. So close this one and do another one.
When you click on share screen, you should be able to pick. The window pops up, and you can click on which like application you want to share on. And so you
Stop
just
and share. And now go back to share screen.
and then make sure the one you click on is the YouTube or whichever the application is. Yep. Now we got it.
Go back to the beginning.
Okay, and is the video still or audio? I didn't see the audio. Forgot to do that part. Can you
Let's-
start?
Soft and mushy.
You the audio?
We got it. We got the
This
audio.
kind you can eat when it's crunchy, like an apple.
Okay, my husband wants
Or
to
you can
start
let it
over
get
again.
soft and mushy.
Yeah, you're showing a video.
There.
No, you didn't go to the beginning.
Hi, I'm Christine Lampy, and this is my husband, Michael.
Hi, welcome to our garden. And we'll take you on a tour, so come with us.
is a persimmon tree. It's a fuyu persimmon, the kind that you can eat when they're crispy, so you don't have to wait till they're soft and mushy. Because if you, the other kind, if you eat them before they get soft and mushy, it puckers up your lips. So this kind you can eat when it's crunchy, like an apple, or you can let it get soft and mushy. So I really like these, and I slice them and dehydrate them. The grandkids love them. Behind over there, we have a blood orange, a Moro blood orange, and then a loquat tree here. This loquat actually fruits about a month earlier than all the ones around here that I know of. So we've already stripped it of the fruit, and I know other people, their fruit's just coming on. And then a little tree here in the corner is a Kishu mandarin. So they have just like golf ball sized mandarin seedless oranges that have the real loose peels. So they come ripe around December, so it's always great to give those for Christmas presents and put in the stockings for the grandkids.
And don't forget, behind the blood orange is a key lime tree. When we went to Key West, we loved the key lime pie, so we had to plant a key lime tree.
So this is Pozo Blue. It's a hybrid of Cleveland sage. So this is our native pollinator flower area, and you can see a lot of the bees and other pollinators just love this. I love the smell of these. The smell is just heavenly. And then this pinkish orange flower is a Lewis Hamilton mallow. So again, I don't see the pollinators on it so much, but I think it's a pretty color. And then we have the California buckwheat. So again, a lot of times during the warmer part of the day, I'll see a lot of the bees on this too. And then I have several more pomegranates planted out here. So there's again a Parfianca and an angel red ambrosia and desertini pomegranates, all kind of real close together. And there's a passion vine kind of growing all through here. And that passion vine is going up the pine tree. Luckily, passion fruit drops when it's ripe, so we don't have to climb up to get it. But this one is happy and makes lots of fruit. These are walking onions. They're also called Egyptian onions, and I like to plant them at the base of the trees because I've read that there's a systemic value that the smell of onions actually gets absorbed by the tree's roots and goes up into the tree, so it helps repel some of the insect pests. And plus it's just extra territory to grow things. So I have these onions growing around almost my trees here, a lot of my trees. And they're called walking onions because they make this stalk with little bulblets on them, and they fall over. You can see one here that's already fallen over. And then they just kind of plant themselves and start growing. And there's actually a little, bulblets, baby, let's see what's in this one. So you can see if I left them alone, they just kind of plant themselves and start growing. But you can just take them off of here and plant them too. Because I use these for eating. They're kind of like a green onion on steroids. So you can see here, they're not, as big of a bulb as a regular, bulb onion. But I can, for cooking, I can use this bottom part. I cut off the roots with about 1/2 inch, and I can replant that, and a whole new plant will come. And then like this section will be kind of like a regular bulb onion, and then the rest are the green onions, which I've actually read have more nutrients in them than the bulb onion does. Boysenberries. I've always kind of been fond of boysenberries since I used to go to Knott's Berry Farm as a kid, and my grandfather actually knew Walter Knott, so and I like the flavor of boysenberries better than blackberries. I just think they have a little better flavor. We did originally plant a couple of, these are thornless, a couple of thornless blackberries, and then we also had a couple of thornless boysenberries. I get the boysenberry blackberry mixed up. The boysenberries, they came early. That's what these are now. They come ripe in May, and the blackberry didn't come ripe until about the end of June or July, and it was always dry and seedy, but the boysenberries are so good.
And so I just ripped out the blackberries and let the boysenberries kind of take over the area. And then we also have some strawberries and onions, chives planted here at the base. And then up here we have, this is a flame seedless grape. So the trunk is actually around the corner. But my husband is the one who mostly manages the grapes and does the pruning and everything for them.
I've been trying to keep them pruned back so they don't grow out here into the driveway, but it doesn't affect the grapes. You can see we got lots of clusters of grapes that are coming in now.
The vine is actually around the corner here.
Yeah, here's the trunk for this one here.
This is a passion vine. I was told it was a Frederick passion vine, just like the one I have on the pine tree, but this one's never really fruited for me, and it hardly flowers at all, but the cold fritillary butterflies like it, and they lay their eggs in the caterpillars on here, although I couldn't find any right now. So I'm happy to have this one for the butterflies, and then the other one gives me fruit. Then we have kind of my potted area here for moringos. And then we're continuing on our grapes. This is a black Manuka grape. So this has kind of been our underachiever. It's just kind of right here with the archway. It got planted at the same time as the other grape. But then we have a third grape called the blueberry grape that starts here and then all the way back there. This is all one plant. The vine is around the corner. But you can see we're going to get grapes here in a few weeks. They turn purple. They're a purple seedless grape with a really good complex flavor. And then we'll dehydrate them and make raisins, or I put a lot in the freezer for smoothies.
I built these archways here to support this branch of the grape, but if you come around the corner here, you can see this is the main trunk here. A few years ago, I built this this patio cover, and as soon as I did, it put these three main branches out this way. So these go out over the archway, and in the summer they completely cover this with vines and grapes, as you can see.
So on a hot day, even like 110 day, I feel cooler and more comfortable sitting out here under the shade of this than I do in the house with the air conditioning. And it's just a cool breeze coming through here, and it's just so nice.
Plus, it's kind of nice to reach up and just pick the grapes.
When they're ripe. Okay, these, we have 3 apples here that we esfoliate against the block wall. I wasn't sure how well this would work out because they're on the north side of the block wall, but they've done pretty good for us. This is a Gravenstein apple, this first one. It fruits a lot later. This middle one is the main tree is a Williams Pride apple, but this one branch I grafted on an Anna apple, which is the early summer apple, and you can see it's already got lots of fruit on it. We've already been eating apples. And they're really good and sweet. So, I should say on the Williams Pride, my grandson's name is William, so I had to get that one for him. And then the last one is a Gala, and we really got a fantastic harvest off of that last year, and I can see it's off to a great start already too, with a lot of fruit setting.
A lot of flowers.
And at the base here I have some alpine strawberries. You can see some of the pineapple ones over there. They're yellow colored with the pineapple flavor. I have alpine strawberries. They do better in shade than regular strawberries do. So I have those planted at the base of a lot of our fruit trees too. Okay, this is a boysenberry growing in a planter behind the hot tub. My husband built the planter there. So the boysenberries, and you can see a lot of them are ripe. And then growing also in the middle, way up the top along the, up towards the eaves of the house is a tom cord grape. So my husband put a little kind of a trellis up there for it to grow on. And that gives kind of a seedless fruit, seedless grape. So this is a Cara navel, so it's a pink navel. They have more lycopene in them than the regular navel. Plus I think the flavor has a little bit of a berry overtone. And then back here we have a fig. There's actually two figs there. So there's one that stays green with kind of a pinkish inside that is really, really good. And then in the back behind there, there's a purple fig. It might be a black mission. I grew it from a cutting, so I'm not exactly sure. But they're good. And then over here, we mentioned the boysenberries earlier, so I am just such a fan of boysenberries that I have, growing around the hot tub here. And we have some ripe fruit. These are so good with vanilla ice cream. Okay, this is the peach tree. This is the first fruit tree we planted. So my husband built the brick planter around there, and then we planted this. We got it at Costco, and I lost track of what type of tree it is, so I can't even tell you the variety, but it gives good peaches. It's already done for the season. We've already stripped all the fruit off of it last week, but had a pretty good harvest. And around the base I have a lot of more of the alpine strawberries. I have yellow ones and red ones in there, so we get a lot out of there. And then on over here past the figs, we have a couple of planting beds. So you can see I've got tomatoes growing, and I've got asparagus around the edge. I use wine bottles kind of for a lot of my planter borders just because they're free. I don't drink much wine, but I mentioned it to other gardeners and wine bottles started showing up. And then I have my composting operations in the back there. And you can see hollyhocks. There's hollyhocks that grow everywhere here. And then in the back corner, that's a desert willow. You can see it's flowering right now. There's a hummingbird who likes to roost in there. I see a monarch butterfly went by. Hi, so we have lots of blueberries. These are growing in pots because we need to keep them in acidic soil. I like to use blue pots because they're blueberries. And this is a misty variety. And we've already been picking pretty heavy on this one. You can see there's a few still left here. And back here we have, there's an Asian pear, kind of behind this pink hollyhock, and then an aprium. So you can see the aprium's ripe right now too. So an aprium is a cross between an apricot and a plum, but it more flavors the apricot side of it. There is a branch in the back that has a apricot grafted onto it, but that's already done all of its fruit and we're done with that one. So this is a nectarine. So it will be fruiting probably in another month. It's Panamint nectarine. So it gives a good harvest. And then we have the cherries here. This is a Lappin's cherry. You can see there's just coming ripe. So this is a 400 chill hour cherry. And so we haven't had a lot of good harvests on this one. But this year I think we had the right amount of chill, so it's done a good harvest. As well as the Mexican primroses, but the nasturtiums work well to be planted at the base of fruit trees because they help attract a lot of aphids to themselves away from the fruit tree,
as well as I think there's something with their roots interacting with the trees that it helps the trees. It's another companion planting. Plus, nasturtiums, the flowers, the leaves are all edible, so we'll use them in our salads too. And you can use the little green seed pods as a substitute for capers. Halfway back here, so we can take you into there. So then we have the pomegranates here. There's 4 different pomegranates here: a Parthionca, angel red, and ambrosia, and then a desertney over there. I mostly went for varieties that don't have thorns or very little thorns and are also soft seeded inside. So when you open up like a regular pomegranate, you have the berries inside, or what they call the arils, and inside of that is a hard little seed usually, but these have a soft seed so you don't hardly even notice it. And here, this is the Mataliha poppy. It's the largest poppy in the world, but it's a California native. It's also called the fried egg plant, fried egg flower, I mean. And this is an elder flower, elderberry. So we use the berries. The berries are really good for preventing colds and flus and building your immunity. And even now with COVID, it's supposed to help a lot with that too. We have the pachanga here. I originally got this plant from Larry Dodson. There's just a few plants, a few fruits still left on it. Let's see, there's one right here. They're just beautiful, like little red jewels. Ruby, like ruby little jewels. I think they're just so pretty. And this is just full of them. It's so pretty.
Oh, and don't forget this dragon fruit over here. We tried to grow the dragon fruit, but I'm afraid it had too much shade. So we'll show you, we have a tree that is unfortunately expired, and we're going to be planting dragon fruit all around it using the dead tree as sort of a trellis. Okay, this is a ceanothus that unfortunately expired on us, but we saved it because we're going to use it as the trellis for dragon fruit. And we're going to train dragon fruit to grow all along these branches up here. So we'll have the big dragon fruits, hopefully before too long. Afterwards, come backwards. And
So kind of welcome to our grape arbor here. There's a grape kind of intermingling with the sugar bush, which is another California native. But on this arbor here, which my husband installed, there's this grape that's called an NY47616. I never got a name, but I've learned that number. Sounds like a zip code or something. And then in here we have kind of the fairy garden that my husband and the grandkids built. So I have these cute little critters, and the grandkids could come over before COVID. They would like to play here. They'd have their little cars out and their people and play with their things.
we have our little fountain in the corner. And our hummingbird, I call him Rufus. He's a Rufus hummingbird. He likes to come in and take a bath in that first little pool there.
So now we're just going to kind of take a walk around the yard so you can see how we've tried to maximize growing space. Again, our yard is just 65 by 100 feet. We just walked past the avocado tree, and then here's the boysenberries. And you can see all the plants I had for our CRFG plant sale, but most of those have already been sold. And then here's the flame seedless grapes hanging from the eaves of the garage. The vine is around the corner of it. And then by the driveway here, we have the apple tree, Fuji apple, and our signs that say we are a certified wildlife habitat here. We have lots of butterfly gardening plants and pollinator friendly. Everything's organic. For years, everything's been organic. There's a nectarine, and then another peach with lots of herbs and garlic and such growing around the base of it. And past the passion vine that the butterflies like, and I keep my moringas here next to the south-facing wall, so it keeps them warm during the summer. Sorry, during the winter. And then going in where the blueberry grape provides lots of shade here under the patio. All these plants, we're getting ready to move, so I have all my plants and cuttings and grafts in pots ready to go. And then our 3 espaliered apple trees here. And then behind the hot tub, we have the boysenberries and another tomcord grape. And the caracara orange to the right. And a honeysuckle vine. And then the figs. And back here we have the tomatoes and asparagus, and then the hollyhocks behind, and the composting. And then our first peach tree, which I lost track of. Like I said, all the other trees, I have all the information. I have everything in a spreadsheet, information for when they fruit and how to fertilize, and exactly what the varieties are. Many of them have extra varieties grafted on, so I have all that written into my spreadsheet. So I've learned to keep my records better. And then back here, the Asian pear, the Flavor Delight aprium, the Panamint nectarine. And that's my keyhole garden in the middle, to the left. And there's some echinacea growing. These are cherries, the Lapin cherries, and then the mini royal. And then back into our kind of hidden pathway here behind the pomegranates. And we have the elderberry tree and the patanga. And past the 4 different pomegranates. We had a huge pomegranate. We still have pomegranates in the freezer from last year. And there's a rosemary bush there. And then past the chickens and back into our other grape arbor, and then the fairy garden. I have a toyon and a sugar bush. I had a cherimoya planted right there by the gate, but that's already been dug up and is ready to move to the new house. But all the other trees will be staying in the ground. We have 30 trees in the ground. And there's the persimmon, and we just walked past the key lime. So that's it. Do I unshare or stop share? Okay. So if people have questions, and just to let you know, we, as Charlotte, our property is for sale, probably in a couple of months. We're just now moving into our new property over near in Homeland, 4.5 acres. So I don't know if you can read that, but if anybody's interested, you know, contact me through the California Rare Fruit Growers, and we'll let you know when it comes on the market.
Can I share something? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I don't know if you guys can see me.
I can see you.
Okay, I'm trying to switch the video. Okay, here, somebody asked about the cherimoya tree and how I can tell if they're male or female. So,
That was me.
was that you?
That was
Okay,
me,
so
Christine.
this one is male, and if you look inside, I've already shaken the pollen out, but it's wide open. The petals are wide open, and that's the male form, and you can collect the pollen from it. Now they when they're closed up like this, you can't get the pollen out of it. So I figure it's female, still in the female phase, because it hasn't opened up enough. And that's when I take the pollen and I put it inside and see if it'll help get the fruit started. So there's a female. This one, let's see if I can, oh gosh, low battery.
So it is the same flower. It's like dragon fruit, and they're the male, you know, you're getting the pollen earlier and then later you're pollinating it.
Right. And so if I've pollinated it, if you've got a lot of flowers, a little trick I learned is you just pick off the end of the petal. So I know I've pollinated it. And then somebody.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And then on the male flowers, if you've collected the pollen, then you have 2 petals that are pinched off on the tip. And then here's one that I pollinated in the past, and I think maybe it's starting to swell. So maybe I'll get some fruit this year. Time will tell. So that's what I wanted to share. And then as for the compost pile, I added a bunch of nitrogen to it when I turned it, because I have mostly wood, a lot of wood chips, and I have a wood chipper, and I put that in there. If I'm ambitious, I'll go get horse manure from next door, but I wasn't ambitious, and they had some nitrogen on sale, so I threw a bunch of that in there, and it's got up to 140 degrees, so I'm happy. And you got to keep it wet too. So that's my tips, and I taught air layering. So thank you very much for your time. I'm going to turn it back to Kirk.
Yeah, thanks so much, ladies. Awesome tour of the houses there. Any questions we have? You guys can unmute yourself. Like Charlotte said earlier, in the bottom left, there'll be a microphone. So if you just click on that, you'll be able to unmute yourself. So if you guys have any questions, feel free. Christine, I really like how you're growing the grapes on the eave of your house. So that's a great use of space there.
Well, as I said, this lot is only 65 by 100 feet, and having been in the California Rare Fruit Growers and finding all these trees I wanted to plant, I was trying to maximize space. My husband kept saying, well, how come we're not growing bananas? I said, where? So that's why we're moving to 4.5 acres. But we do have 30 trees in the ground, and yeah, maximizing, you know, if we had stayed in this house, my next plan was to build a cover over the driveway and start growing vines up that cover. Then you shade the cars too.
Every vertical space, just put some some fruiting vines on it, huh?
That's a permaculture principle.
Great.
Now, somebody in the chat room asked what the berry was that helped with the virus. I don't know if it was one of yours, Christine, or if it was me talking about the Florastor, or the yeast that grows on the outside of plums and grapes that helps with the bacteria. Yeah, C. diff.
Yeah, you mentioned the plums,
It's
that they had the yeast bloom on them, and then I mentioned that the elderberries also have the yeast bloom, when I forage them in the wild, they'll almost be white looking instead of purple from that yeast bloom. But I'm wondering if it's kind of a similar yeast.
I bet it is. And the one that they sell in the store, Flora store, is a yeast that grows on the outside of I think it's the mangosteen fruit. Or anyway, it's one of the fruits that's subtropical, and it was developed because in some primitive country, they found the natives would chew on this when they had upset stomach, and it was supposed to help with digestion. It would chew on the peels of the lychee and the mangosteen fruits.
Great. Okay, so if we don't have any questions, I think the next thing we need to talk about real quick is going to be the July meeting. Is that right, Christine?
Yeah, and can I make a couple announcements before that?
Go.
Real quick, let me tell you, Kirk, to start the video on your camera so we can see your face. That'd be kind of nice, unless you don't want us to see you.
Sure thing.
He's shy.
Camera shy.
Anyway, I just wanted to thank people who brought plants. We did a pop-up fundraising sale since we couldn't do our normal sale at the Riverside Flower and Garden Show. That was canceled because of COVID. And we weren't quite planning it here. I was just posted some pictures of the patangas that they were fruiting real heavily, and it was just so pretty, and I was harvesting a lot of fruit. And then I told people that, oh, and I have some plants for sale. And it kind of mushroomed from there. And then we got plants from Charlotte and Larry and Frank, and we made $2,000 and counting, because I think we're selling another sapodilla. Somebody wants one delivered to Orange County. So I'm shutting down sale operations here because we're busy moving now. But if anybody else wants to, if you have plants that you don't want to water all summer long that you were propagating, maybe we can do a plant sale in your area. I can help you publicize it. And then we're having a work day this Saturday, and we have the information listed on our Facebook page, but and went out with the email information, but it's 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Harupa Mountains Discovery Center. Frank has gone through with Charlotte's weed whacker and has mowed down all the foxtails. And so before those foxtails grow up again, we need to get that area all, we have cardboard. I've brought a lot more cardboard, and after I finish moving, I'll have a lot more cardboard. But we have a lot more cardboard staged there, and we have a lot of mulch. So if we can get a bunch of volunteers out to help lay cardboard and spread mulch. And in the meantime, there are apriums and peaches that are coming ripe there, as well as the Pakistan mulberries. I don't know if they still have fruit now. They had some good fruit a couple of weeks ago. So, you can help harvest, and there's a few other things we can get done there.
Christine, should they contact you or should they contact Frank for the work on Saturday?
I posted Frank's phone number on the Facebook page, but they can contact me. I will not be there this Saturday. I need to back off on my work at the orchard and get my move ready. But if other people want to help stand up and participate in our orchard, it's turning into a wonderful gem, to show off to the public and get people involved. Once the Harupa Mountains Discovery Center can reopen, to get the public involved, just learning about what fruits can grow here and how to, graft and prune and, take care of fruit trees. And then maybe get more people involved with us. But even if they're not, just to part of our mission is educational. So to let people know what they can grow, and especially with the recent times, people are more interested in having more food in their yards. So it'd be great to take advantage of this now and help educate them.
Great, yeah. And so if we're going to be moving a bunch of mulch, like some tools will be what? Pitchforks and wheelbarrows or shovels would probably be the most important things if we got to move a bunch of mulch around.
Yes, we'd have one wheelbarrow and one wagon staged there already. I'm not sure if we left a rake there. I had to take some of my tools back since we're moving. So also we are looking for donations of tools. If you have extra tools, or if you see tools for sale at a yard sale or an estate place, estate sales are especially, because people are, had great tools, but now they no longer need them. And often the younger family may not be into gardening, so they're selling some great tools. So if you can snap some of those up for us, that would be great, and donate them. Let us know and we can give you some donation credit for it.
So rakes and shovels, pitchforks, wheelbarrow, and then you probably need some gloves and shade, right? It's pretty wide open there. So a big hat works great, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, we're starting at 9 in the morning, and they're the place is closed right now to the public. So try to be there like 10 minutes before 9, so we can all be let in at one time. And then the plan is to open it back up and let us out at 1 p.m. But if you need to leave earlier, we can call them and they can let you out earlier. But basically, you're going to be locked in there. And yeah, if you can, because of COVID, again, we used to bring snacks and share, but it's probably best if now we don't. And, of course, bring your masks. I'm not sure it's necessary, but Wes was telling us that we have to wear our masks all the time when you're on the property. So, but at least if you're close to anybody, definitely have a mask handy so you can wear that. Plus, when you're working with mulch, it's just good because of the dust anyway.
Great. Yeah. So the more people, the merrier. Really helps out because
And
it's just
many hands make light work.
right. Exactly.
And also there's also, I didn't mention the citrus grove, but there's still a lot of ruby grapefruits and lemons and mandarins and things for harvest over there too. So usually what we've been doing is working about 3 hours in the upper orchard and then spending the last hour going down to the citrus grove where it's a lot shadier and cooler. And then we do some harvesting there.
I got about 4 shopping bags of citrus last time I was there. So
So
great.
bring bags if you want to take some fruit home.
Totally.
Kirk, Christine, I wanted to chime in and say, if you'll, I don't know if you guys can see me or not, or hear me, but I wanted to put a plug in for Christine, that because Christine and Michael have done so much for the garden in the last year, and Michael almost single-handed, he had help to build the shed, and then Christine did the plant sale to recoup all the money that we spent for the shed, which these plants may have died, and I mean, $2,000. That's more than we made the last 3 years combined at the Elks plant sale, and we didn't have to pay for the booth. So my hat's off to you, and I urge everyone to reach out and see if Christine and Michael need help with moving and find out, because I don't know if Christine is going to be bold enough to ask for people to help with the move, but I think she would appreciate it and accept it if there's any way that you guys can help. Thank you.
I can probably post when we're getting ready to move all these plants, because I think otherwise it'll probably take me like 5 or 6 of our trailer loads to move everything that I have in pots.
Right.
Plus I have some in big pots, so I could use some mussels.
Thank you for the kind words, but Nick and several of the other guys were a big help, especially getting up on that roof. I couldn't have done it all by myself, so I can't take all
I
the
told him he could not go up on that roof by himself when nobody was up around.
Yeah, she did.
So it's good to have some younger energy out there.
Yes.
Like Christine said, lots of hands make light work. So
There you go. Yes.
And so you wanted to discuss our July meeting. I think Charlotte was suggested we discuss it and put it to a vote.
great. So what exactly are we putting to vote? Are we meeting on Thursday or Saturday? Is that the question, or what's the
Well,
questions here?
Should I mention what our thoughts are? So we usually have a picnic in August or July or August, and all to get together. Now I know, with COVID, it's been discussed, do we or don't we? But I talked with Wes, who's the manager there at the Herpa Mountains Discovery Center, and I want to show off our orchard to everybody. It's gorgeous now. A few weeks ago, so many of the fruit trees were in flower, but now so many of them are fruiting, and we'll be right. And so, I think if we can get some folding tables all spread out through the orchard, so we can, our individual households can keep distance, but then we could still, enjoy our picnic. So Wes, he said, he gave us a tentative, we'll see, depending upon, how the COVID situation is doing. And if Herpa Mountains, even if they can't open up to the public yet, we may be able to, open up. So we could either do usually we've done our picnic on Thursday night during our regular meeting, but would people rather come on a Saturday? And do you think we should have a picnic yet? And we could do a kind of wait and see thing and still have a plan B of just, some kind of a Zoom meeting if we get, I know with all these protests and people getting back together, maybe there might be another, wave of the disease.
So maybe the first question we ask is July or August, right? So we should have one. It's tradition. It's wonderful to get together with everybody. So maybe
Well,
the
we
first question.
already have an August speaker lined up.
Okay. So the
We got
question. So then.
Michelle Schoeniger from Kellogg Organics.
Okay. So July would probably be a great time to do it, is what you're saying.
Unless you want me to check with her and see about switching if we think we want to meet in August, but I didn't want to mix things up too much.
That's fine. So I would guess probably a Thursday night in July would be a really nice time to get together. It's 8:15. The sun's just now going down. So if we got started at 6:30, 7 o'clock, I think that'd be a pretty good time to go. Would you agree, Christine?
When we've had our Thursday evening barbecues, it's usually, I think we meet an hour earlier than we normally do. So our normal time is starting at 7, so starting at 6. And I know some people are, getting off work and may not get there that early, but it's a picnic. So if you arrive late, we'll still save you some food. And it's always great to have some more food, come in later after we've eaten all the good stuff early, and more stuff shows up.
Okay. So I guess, so I guess the question is, do we want to do one on Thursday or Sunday, I guess would be the question, right? And then we just kind of have a wait and see approach in 2 or 3
And do you
weeks.
think we can share food by then, or do you think we all just need to each bring our own, food?
I think we bring our own serving utensil, as long as you don't touch the utensil and then touch the food. I think we'd be okay going and picking our own food up, right?
So
Like
bring our own serving utensils.
Yeah. So to me, it's because I've been trying to think, how do we have like a block party here? And I think to me, it's like, as long as you are not touching the same utensils and the utensils aren't going from one to another, I think that would probably be the best way to try to contain as much as possible.
And from what I've heard, the virus, if happens to be on the food, if it goes through your stomach system, it doesn't survive. So it's more just, you're worried about having the virus if you're touching your nose or eyes. Charlotte, does that make sense? Did we lose Charlotte?
I believe it looks like we have. Her phone probably died. So
she did say low battery. So how are people feeling about having a picnic? You can unmute yourselves and discuss or type in the chat. Or we could send out an email and take a vote through email.
So a meeting is going, is happening. So Lisa says, good if we can. Anybody else have any thoughts? Love to hear your opinions.
July feels kind of early.
Okay. So you would prefer if we waited later. Is that right, Belma?
Yes, that sounds good. But I can always make the decision whether to attend or not to attend. So, obviously going with the majority is fine. But I love Zoom. It is great seeing everyone.
Oh my God. So are you thinking you'd just rather plan another Zoom meeting and postpone the picnic?
Yes, and I'm one of many. I'm one of many people here, so I'd love to hear other people as well.
Uh-huh.
I recommend August.
So we could maybe check with our August speaker and see if she's available to switch around and be our July speaker. And then
Right.
That could be a possible plan. If not, I know at the last minute, I always have lots of PowerPoint presentations from master gardeners that I can always fill in if we need to.
So will we agree that maybe the consensus is to wait until August? I think that's probably actually a very wise plan, just to take a little bit more wait and see approach, just how everything's kind of going at the moment. So if everyone's okay, I think that's probably the best way to go. And I think between now and then, Christine, we can probably come up with another speaker, or we can figure out something, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So I think that's probably the best thing, and I think we just do that.
Thank you all. Great presentations. Loved
What?
it.
Yeah, wonderful gardens. And then just to follow up, great point, Robert. Appreciate that. August might be easier with families who might be gone for vacation in July. And yeah, just to touch base with Lisa, what she's talking about. So if you guys have not been are not a member, would love to have you join. It's a pretty nominal fee. And then there's an application that she put in the chat box. So feel free to click on that. And she put her email down there. So if you could just fill out that form and send it to her, or just send her your contact information. We are one chapter of many in California, and there's a national organization that we join that as well. We get the bi-monthly newsletter, which is an awesome magazine, online magazine, or you can get it in the mail. So yeah, just if you could follow up on that. We'll be sending out the video link here as well. So if you missed maybe some of the beginning parts, you can watch that again. And we'll be back again next month, the first Thursday of the month at 7 p.m.
So if you can watch our Facebook page for announcements of what will be, we'll work on that. And some of our work days have been, we haven't been planning that far ahead because the situation is kind of changing underneath us. So, if you want to come out and see the orchard, come out for one of our work days. And like I said, there'll be some fruit to take home.
Yeah. Thanks again, everything, for all your help, Charlotte and Christine, and especially Christine with the orchard is looking incredible. So you guys should all come check it out. It looks great. So thanks so much, guys. Appreciate your time, and see you guys next month.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.